Hey, we always live Elvis.
Hey, Memphis Mafia Kid and Teresa. And we're back on Wednesday. Y'all start off real quick, give a couple shout outs. Wendy Parks, hey, we appreciate you. Also, we'd like to say, our hearts go out to all the folks in Turkey with uh, that
Yeah, the
horrific
earthquake.
earthquake, yeah. And also, I got a message from our friend in New Zealand, and they just had a horrific cyclone.
Mm,
And yeah, we'd like to say, hey, our prayers and hearts are
definitely.
with y'all, and with everybody in the world today. It seems like something going on every day, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to try to make things a little brighter. So, hey, I do want to say that I'm not one that's a bad loser. Gets over nothing. I mean, hey, they the Eagles lost, and I accepted that after I stomped my chicken wings. After I stomped my chips and dip, thrown them out in the yard. No, I'm just.
Well, it is your fault because that was not an Eagles dance. That was a chicken dance. And you jinxed them from the start. I'm surprised they're
How
not
do
all
you know?
riding in the front
How do you
yard.
know the difference between the damn chicken dance and the eagle
Because
dance?
that looked like a chicken. What you were doing looked like a
Okay,
chicken.
well, we didn't ask you for your comment. So now back to him. No, no. No, y'all, hey, we did seriously enjoy the game. Had a great time with mom and daddy and Danielle and them and our granddaughter Laney come. So we're coming off a great weekend. But hey, let's get into some questions.
All right, Claire Clevy. Were Elvis's pets allowed inside Graceland?
Yes, they were allowed inside Graceland many a times. Uh, you know, I remember the Great Danes uh, being in. Of course, they went outside too, but being inside Graceland. Of course, Get Low, the Sheepdogs. I just pop in memory over the years. Of course, Lisa's dogs. Linda had a little dog named Fox Shoe. Uh, so yes, they were allowed inside Graceland.
Okay, Terry 5355. Do you think Elvis would have gotten a tattoo?
My personal opinion, no, and I won't say that it because it never really come up that I know of. It probably did uh, with Daddy or some of the other guys, or maybe it didn't. But that a tattoo just to me didn't seem like Elvis's style, and two the way I think Elvis would be would he that would to him like putting something on his body and you know and of course a lot of folks. I mean, as we've talked about before, Elvis didn't need uh, any procedures or any colorful things or anything, to make you. I mean, you just automatically he automatically pulls you.
It wasn't a thing for that generation, really, unless you were in the army or were in the services.
Yeah, and I've seen
That
that too. Of
was,
course, he
but
was, but like I
right.
said, I just my opinion. You asked, and but I don't think that Elvis would have ever gotten a tattoo.
Okay, Brooke
I
Barnes.
do.
Do you think Elvis would have played halftime shows if he had lived?
I wouldn't. I won't say that Elvis was opposed or not wanting to do it. However, if like if things were not changed and still the same, and Colonel was still the manager, I just my opinion, I don't think he would have ever done a halftime show because I don't think they could have probably come to a contract with the Colonel. However, and that is a great question. Love it. Over the years, I have thought myself of even it, just this short halftime show. But could you imagine? That would have probably been, in my opinion, a Super Bowl that would have went down in history, not just for the game, but probably more so for the halftime show. But hey, that's a great question.
All right, Crystal Wiggins, what is your mom's real name?
Mama. I mean, that's what. No, I'm just. No, I'm just playing. Her full name is Joe Alice, and the Joe is spelled J-O. She was Joe Alice Norris. Was her maiden name, and of course, now she's. And for as long as I have known her, she's been Joe Alice Smith. But yeah, some good questions. Hey, look, stop right there though, and I do want to say, y'all seen all the comments about the shopping, even seen some things to do, and I just I love it. I love it. So I gotta get a little bit in there on it. I know several said, well, hey, why don't you just pull out your cell phone and call her. Tried that one. She don't answer. And then when I do find
some buildings don't have service.
Then when I do find her in the store, I didn't hear my phone. I must have my phone. You know how that one goes.
A roof that's made of metal does not pick up.
Yeah. Or there's another one. It didn't pick up inside the store. So we've tried that one, but hey, I know my wife. But hey, y'all, seriously, and a lot of things coming back, it seemed like that I hated shopping, and I don't.
Oh, you're just as bad.
I love to shop. I just don't think you can get in there, shop your stuff, and get out. And two, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't going to say this, but I seen some of the ones, and y'all trying to jump and pick on me about poor, pitiful little Teresa.
No, I'm
she
not.
begs me to go shopping. I have tried to get her to go out shopping by herself, and she will not. She has to have me there with her.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, hey, let's go back to this. I just want to set that straight. So let's get back to some more questions.
Yeah, let's. All right, Christine Rathbone, what are y'all's thoughts on Agent Elvis? That's the animated show coming out on Netflix.
We watched, and I ain't up to
trailer.
Trailer.
I'll watch it.
Agent Elvis. Several things talk about that is a good question there too. Yeah, I know she's fixing to get on me.
And we watched that trailer with your mom and daddy over the
We
weekend.
did, and I'm going to tell you, I thought it was funny. I thought it was good, and seeing. I hope that it's going to end up being good, because that kind of thing with Elvis, I'm not much, Teresa will tell you, on a lot of animated stuff, as far as shows, movies, series, whatever. But I think this one, I'm probably going to get into just because of Elvis. I love the trailer with Elvis and Scatter.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think back to, that to me was just Elvis. I mean, I know he's looking down and sees it now, and he's loving it because.
Yeah, what'd your mama say when she saw it?
I mean, Agent Elvis.
Yeah, she said he'd love it.
Yep, that he'd love it, but she did throw hers out there, and I'm gonna let them speak on their thoughts on it. But I'm hoping it's gonna be a great little series.
Yeah,
I like from what I've seen so far, and like I said, I know Elvis would have gotten a big kick out of it and would have been damn proud of it. And
it's not the first time Elvis has been a character in a TV, movie, book, whatever. I don't know the name of it, but I know that there is a detective novel out. And then there's a graphic novel out, one that I had seen. I didn't really care for it, and Elvis is actually a character. I don't know if you've ever seen True Blood when it was on HBO. It's based off some books called the Sookie Stackhouse books by Charlene Harris. And Elvis, I'll show you. Elvis is a character in the book. Elvis is a character in the book as Elvis, but he doesn't know he's Elvis. But anyway, so he's been in some.
Yeah, and I tease with her, but she was telling me that, and I didn't know, because there's another thing. Believe it or not, for us to have the relationship and the love that we have and the fun that we have with one another, we're so opposite on a lot of things too. I mean, she loves the reading and all that, and the reading gives me a headache. My kind of reading is when we're either
With pictures.
sitting in the living room. Okay, that's cute. Or laying in bed and Teresa's reading it to me. Now I love that. But
Why you fall asleep?
as far as me
You
doing
ain't
it
even
myself, I
listening.
get a headache. But hey, let's get out of that and get back into those old questions.
All right. This is the last question from Gary. Was there a time when you and Elvis talked alone?
Gary Eaton, I believe it is. Yeah, there was a few times that I remember, but I've told some of this basically on one of the early videos on the trip. But one of the main conversations that always comes to mind that just meant something to me was when we went to Palm Springs that last trip, and it was the middle of the night over. I don't quote me on exactly what time, but it was, let's say between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had woken up, and man, I was hungry, and where our bedroom was, you had to walk through the living room to get to the kitchen, and I woke up, of course, half asleep, and I'm stumbling, and I'm starving, as I always was then, and I'm walking, and I walk out of the bedroom, little hallway, and start walking through the living room, and walking. I get about halfway, the TV's going, which it just didn't hit me. Like I said, I was asleep, but then out of the side view, it hit me, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Elvis, So I'm just trying to ease along, and he says, hey, and I said, hey, and he had a box of pizza he ordered. Said, hey, come over, sit down a minute. And so I went and sat on the couch, and I never will forget it. The Flintstones were playing, and I don't know, like I said, apparently he was watching it or just listening or maybe watching something else, but that's what was on, and the TV was on kind of low, and he started just, asking me some questions that just like, was I having a good time? Of course, I was letting him know blown out, and that he was, glad that we were there, and for Lisa, and did we have have we had a good time so far? And of course, with the shopping money that I had spoke about that he'd given us, and just some stuff like that. It was really, with Elvis, it was just kind of short and sweet. He basically, he had asked me, he said, you want some pizza? And I said, sure. And that's when pretty much getting a bite or two, eating it, and he got up and said, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow. And it was the words to say what it was. I mean, and that's why I say I understand with y'all, because it was to me. I mean, I'm a teenager, and times like that hit me with eerie, that I am sitting talking with my cousin and hanging, and I guess you could say hanging out, but this man is Elvis Presley. I mean, it just, of course, I was puzzled by the trip. We flew on the Lisa Marie, and like I said, I've told that story, and may just try to break it down and get into more detail on telling it. But yeah, that was one of the times, and there's other times, and that we had conversations, short ones, and I'll talk about them. But all in all, like I said, y'all, it just, and that's what I try to, or we try to give, or you to try to get the feeling or understanding, if I'm making sense, of just how exciting, scary, or whatever you want to, goosebumps, just whatever the words are, traumatic. I mean, he just had that way to stun you, but it was all, I mean that all in a great, fun, special way, and y'all have heard me say it before. There's probably not a time in my life, especially during those times, that I would go back and probably change anything except for the ending and the outcome of way things turned out. But hey, y'all, we appreciate the questions. Looking like from the feedback and stuff we're getting, y'all are liking the little shorts. So hey, we're going to continue doing them. Our next video will be Sunday, and for those of you that your wives don't want you to go shopping with you, hey, I feel for you. Just so happens
Your wife's, if you don't go shopping with her, your wife's lucky.
No. But it just so happens, hey, my wife just can't stand it.
We'll see tomorrow.
She always wants me to go, and she's a
We'll
great
see.
sport. I love her.
I
Love all y'all. And hey, what do we always say, y'all?
We always live Elvis.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching this episode of the Memphis Mafia Kid. Please subscribe and hit that like button. Got an Elvis or MMK related question? Post it under the comments and we may answer it in a future video. And don't forget to check out Mom and Daddy's channel, EFM Elvis Fans Matter.